Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to Elisa Maria Designs. I'm Elisa Maria. Welcome back if you're back. Welcome if you are new. And it is Monday afternoon at around 4:30, and I don't know where the day went, but I was like, I have to get out of the house. I have to take a walk, but I have to do my editing. And I was like, well, I'm going to try something new today. I'm going to take a walk and do my editing while I am on this walk. Well, you're going to have the background sounds of Philadelphia. It seems to be a little calm right now. I'm actually walking by the schoolyard, and usually it's a bunch of kids and swimming. It's actually eerily quiet, and it's so nice out. And I just needed to take a walk. I really didn't know what canvas I wanted to start with today. I have a few of them open. I know Rosa is still waiting for me to get back to her about Cafe Terrace at night and tell her which drills I'm missing so I can complete that one. And then there's Ivan Valakovic. He's hanging on my wall. And then there's Still Winter by Muka. That's another one that's open. And what else do I have? Oh, I have my mermaid. And right after I get done taking this walk and doing my voiceover and getting this up on the channel, John and I are going to be reading chapter 11 of Jaws. And let me tell you right now, I am passing the pool that is a block from my house, because there is a community center a block from my home, and it just looks so inviting. I just want to ditch everything and jump in the pool. It looks so good. And Johnny's been saying, when are we going in the pool? When are we going in the pool? I'm like, let my foot heal and then we'll go in the pool. Oh God, it looks so good. And it's not too hot, but I don't know. As I'm walking, I'm getting that vibe of like the fall being on our heels. Is that weird? Because it's still July. To go through August yet. And September. But it's got like that weird kind of feeling to it. Oh, I'm going to go directly past the pool. I really should have did a walking meditation with this. I don't think I have any summer walking meditations showing where I live. You hear the lifeguard when me and John are in there. The whistle never stops. But yeah, I'll have to do that one day where I come out here and I do a walking meditation. And this must be something new, because I see a lot of umbrellas around the pool area, which I have never seen before. I just walked by somebody and they were listening to breaking news, and all I heard was disaster. And I'm like, oh no. Okay, let me stay on track here. So what I'm doing today is I decided I have my square drill canvas out. I don't think I showed you guys, but what I did was, the last time I was working on this, my hand kept hitting the little on off switch, and I was like, I always forget to order the cover for the light pad so that if you lean into it, it doesn't turn on and off. So I went looking. I'm like, what do these things look like anyway? Well, they look like a little bottle cap or like something that you could snap open. Like you glue it down, and then when you open it, it covers. And I'm like, what? Like $9 for this? I could take the lid off of my Evian or whatever and use that. But you know, it worked even more perfectly if you have a Dreamer Design wax or putty. I call it putty wax, the purple wax that comes in the kit. If you take the lid off of that, it's not too high like a bottle cap. It's just high enough to cover your light pad and get a little bit of your putty and put it down. Now get a sturdy putty. I happen to use the Diamond Art Club putty, and it was just a mess because it melts a little bit. It looks sturdy, that putty, the Diamond Art Club putty. It looks really sturdy, the old white one, but it's gooey. You know, it's surprising when you put your placer into it and you're like, oh, it's not really as hard as I thought it was. I would use something like a Quake putty, because a Quake putty is meant for, earthquakes, so that what you tack down doesn't move. Probably even a drier putty, like a blue tack that you can get in the dollar store, and so you can lift it up and you can put your light on and you can place it back down. And I leaned my arm on that so many times during this filming, and only once did the light go off because the putty started to melt, but that wasn't until the end. So I'm back to my tweezer and loving it. And I decided that, well, I'll tell you where I am now. This block still is not done, but I wanted to leave, the section that I'm working on has actually 2 different symbols, and then a third one came in. So it's symbol 3, which is black, symbol L, which is kind of like a darkish brown, and then of course there's our 939 that's in there as the last one. That's symbol D. And I'm painting in a way that I love, and I'm looking at my pen right now, and this is, you don't know, but my son came over and I put this away. I stopped. I did the reading at around half an hour mark, and then I put this away and I made him and John lunch, and I was just doing things with Foofy, and I said, okay, time for Mom to sit back down. They were watching a movie, and I was going to pick up where I left off because I don't need to have the volume on. So the pen rolled. This beautiful pen that you see here rolled and broke. The bottom part broke. The 2-placer broke. And I'm like heartbroken. Look how beautiful that pen is. That's a cat-tiered pen. Like, I could still use the other side, but I was teaching you guys how to do multi-placing with that pen because it had a 2 drill multi-placer on the end. And I'm like, oh, even John was like, oh no, you broke your pen. I'm like, yeah, I broke my pen. I guess we're going to be moving on. Hope you did your practice because the 2-placer is gone, but it's such a pretty pen. Cat Tiered wanted to send me one of their tray bricks. Maybe I'll tell them to send me. Can you send me another pen? I have the tray bricks already. But this is one of my favorite ways to paint, and this is what I love about the ARTDOT trays. See how I put my little China marker? Get a crayon, take one of your kids' crayons, borrow it. Say, can mommy or daddy borrow your crayon? And use that, because it's wax. And mark your tray with your symbol. And by the end of this, and if you even have the longer trays, if you have the longer ARTDOT trays, you could fit 2 of them in there. So if you don't like them like being, just on your work surface, you could pick the whole tray up and have 2 of them in your hand. This is my favorite way to paint because you can do 2 symbols at one time. And I think I do like a bunch of 3s. I think I'm putting this long line of 3s, and then I'm starting with, I go back to the line, to the beginning of the line, and then I go up on a diagonal. What was so great and so relaxing about this diamond painting session was that I was painting intuitively. I just was letting, it's kind of like that with writing too. I never know what's going to drop out of the pen. It's kind of like that with sketching also. I never know what's going to drop out of the crayon. It's almost like something else takes over. And for this, it's like, okay, I want to turn left. I want to turn right. I want to make little pyramids. I want to, go around in a circle. It's like, let's go this way. And you make these interesting shapes. It's not boring, and then being that this is such a large color blocking section too, with some of it, you can shorten those lines. So let's just say I'm a vertical north to south diamond painter, okay, and if like I was telling you guys, when I had a custom diamond painting made by Gustav Klimt, it was Woman in Hat with Feather Boa. You can go back and look at it in my videos. She had a big boa around her neck, and I was like, oh, This is going to be so great. There's like 20, I think there was even more than that, maybe 30 lines, because I had a 15 placer in my hand. I had no business having a 15 placer in my hand, but I had it, and I just thought I was going to ding, ding, ding all the way up and get this big part of the canvas done. I had so much to learn, and I did. My lines were driving me crazy, but if I wanted to, I could have done this kind of sort of design where, let's just say I have 30 rows, and maybe 30 rows going up and 30 going across. And I could start in the corner, and I could work all the way up in a diagonal, and I can shorten those lines because they're going to be short. If you start in the corner, right, so your first drill's down, then when you put your second drill down, you only have 2 going vertical, and then you put your third drill on a diagonal, then you only have 3 going north to south. So the lines get bigger as you go further up the diagonal. Does that make sense? You could see how I'm going on a diagonal. The lines are shorter on the left going up and down than they would be on the right. They're longer. But if you say, well, I'm really good with a 4 placer, but there's a lot of lines here, I would cut those lines down to a 4. And I've done that in the future where I've had other big color blocking areas. And what I do is I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, put a drill. 1, 2, 3, 4, put a drill. 1, 2, 3, 4, put a drill. And where I put those drills at, then I go on a diagonal. I just make it fun. I just try and do things that are fun, different shapes. And then on that line where I did 1, 2, 3, 4, drop a drill, I can go back with my 4 placer, and I feel pretty confident that they're straight and there's no demarcation line because I have a drill in that 5th spot where it just, if you know what I mean, if you know, you know. If you use a big placer and you place your drills one on top of the other, one line going up, then you start to see like a little bit of a demarcation line where you know exactly where you started and stopped at. So that was a problem. And then of course it was black drills, and oh boy, it just like I couldn't see at one point. I was getting like, I know that there's a name for it where you know how snow blinds you because it's so white? Well, it's the same thing with black. I couldn't really see the lines. I didn't know if I was next to the drill that I wanted to be next to. Things were looking crooked. Maybe they were, maybe they weren't. And I was just playing with this section that I thought was going to be so easy. I was playing with this section for longer than I should have been. Would have been so much easier if I just used my tweezers. So I haven't been looking at what I've been doing, but I see that, oh yeah, okay, I'm going back and forth between L and E. And like I said, this is one of my favorite ways of painting where I don't have to leave that diagonal space blank because I have the second color right there. So I'm not completing all the black here. That's the number 3. There's plenty to do when we get together on Friday because I wanted to take black drills as their own tutorial, and also the center section of the canvas. I wanted to take that as its own tutorial because that seems to be a little bit more confetti and lighter drills with the skin tone. But I'm so happy, when I decided to do this editing, I just have like a little bit more to do. And this one block, this is a 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter block, will be complete and we'll be able to have a good look at it. I hope that you are practicing and that if you have any questions, you leave them down below. I know a few of you have contacted me and told me that, you're following along, even though you've ordered the kit. and you don't have it yet, but you are following along and you're very eager to get your kit and then go back and start over with me, the first video, should you be doing that. My hand was in the way like the last 15 minutes, and I review everything in section 2 again. So if that gets to be like bothersome, just turn off the first video and go right into the second video. I review video 1 all over again because of the way my tripod was. Oh, please, somebody tell me if you do any videotaping that you need to do things like this where it's a very intricate work and you need to zoom in. Please tell me what kind of tripod you're using. I have them all. I have the ones with the magnet. I have the ones that hang overhead. I have the ones that clip onto my desk. I have the ones that stand by my desk like a person. It is so annoying. It's so, I feel like there's someone standing next to me the whole time that I'm videotaping. I have the ones that stand up freestyle. That's the one that John likes for when we do Jaws. He likes that one because he can move it around. So please tell me what you're using. Please tell me, like, the one that stands next to me, it has all the function of, like, it does a 360 spin, it goes up, it goes down, it goes backwards, it goes forward, it goes sideways, but it seems like a robot. And when I pull it towards me, I've hit myself in the head at least 3 times. I'm like, I watch people when they're doing videotaping and they're like, oh, let me get you in closer. And they just like kind of think, like you can tell that they're moving their tripod down. I'm like, is it hanging from the ceiling like a chandelier? What tripod are you using? And I'm not like into, doing like big money equipment. Give me some ideas, will you? Help a girl out here. I'm loving the way that this little part of this section is coming out. Just the direction. I'm looking at it now and I don't remember almost it looking like the head of an arrow. But it is so pretty, the patchwork. And I've been following a lot of the Facebook pages that I have joined either through Dreamer Designs or Diamond Art Club. And I don't know if you can do a certain search on a conversation, but I'm finding the information so helpful. If you have a question about something, if there's a product that you're using or want to use and you want to know something about it, you can basically find it there. Everybody is so willing to help and give you information. But I was watching, I should link her. I don't know, did I link it yesterday? I may have forgotten during Self-Care Sunday. RK Sensei, right? Or is it Sensei? Sensei, and she's in the Philippines. And here come some kids. Hold on. Okay, they're very happy to be running to the pool. All I need is an ice cream truck right now. She does a lot of shorts. She has this great, I just love her diamond painting accessories. I don't know where she gets them from. They're all monogrammed with her initials on them. Like, she has the clip holders that go around the canvas, and she has some really cool diamond painting trays, fabulous pens. So I love that, even though that's not me. I love that curated look. And she was doing a really big section of black squares. It was a huge canvas. She was really happy. I don't know if someone sent her this canvas from Diamond Art Club. Very grateful and very happy that she was able to get a US based Diamond Art Club canvas. Oh, it might have been, I want to say Never Alone, but I think I'm getting my canvases mixed up. And I think it might be the one where the girl, or I think it's a girl, is standing in the middle. I am walking and I'm saying, what is on my face? Is it a bug? It's actually a 310 square drill on my face. I'm like, oh my God, there's a bug on my face. And so I think it's called Never Alone, like where she's standing in the middle of, looks like Tokyo. And she was like, the whole canvas is done except for the last row is that a column in the middle, and the first maybe 2 or 3 10 by 10 centimeter sections on the top are all black. And then I think they go into 939. Yeah, it goes into 939, that dark navy blue. And she did a patchwork on the top, and she's like, "Mom, my hand is cramping, so I'm getting the multi-placer out for the second part." And she's like, "I don't care. I'm over it. I'm over the 310s. I know it's not going to be as neat as my tweezer." I'm like, oh, this is a great example. Like, this girl is so good. And even she can't get her lines neat with a placer, and she's so good. I'm going to link her. I'm going to link that time lapse that she did, and you're going to get hooked on her. You're going to be looking at her shorts and all. They're just, some people just have that knack of doing shorts that just, drag you in from the moment that it opens up. So wonderful. And I've been looking at the sites, I've been looking at the Facebook pages, and I've been watching people say, I am a patchwork queen. I like doing patchwork. And there are some people that will do practically their entire canvas all patchwork. And then they go back in with their single placer and they start all over again from the first 10 by 10 square on the bottom left-hand corner, and they start to fill in again and they're like, I love that crunch. I love that crunch. Now, you're going to see here when I take my pen out and I start to single place, you're going to see where maybe I'll put the sound up a little bit, but I will, I don't have that crunch. I just don't have it because I am able to, I find that I am placing my square drills so much neater with the tweezer, and my hand is more relaxed, that when I go to drop them in, I'm sure you heard my phone, and these spam calls are getting more and more ridiculous. But when I go to drop them in, I might have a little push, but I don't have a crunch. And I was always told that when you hear that crunch, it's the other drills surrounding that drill that you're putting in. They're being moved out of the way, so you get that satisfying snap or that crunch in there. And I haven't had a crunch, really. I mean, maybe one throughout this entire section that I'm doing. And I know you guys miss that. So I would say get yourself a good putty that has a lot of tack and pop to it if you need to have that. And it is part of the journey. It is part of what makes diamond painting so relaxing is that it's the sound. It's the pop, it's the crunch. So if you're missing the crunch because now you're placing your drills more evenly and more properly into their drill space, get a rain stick pen. Oh gosh, I love my rain stick pen. It is absolutely mesmerizing. And I got the feeling too when I was doing this canvas, and I realized when I'm dropping into a meditation, I get very calm, my breath slows down, I'm very focused, my hand is very relaxed, I'm not, really thinking about anything, I'm just in the process. I'm like, this is sort of like walking a labyrinth. Like if you were to walk a maze and that repetitiveness of just, or even like with a Zentangle, where you are repeating patterns that you're drawing with your hand, it becomes this repetitive pattern that you're doing. Your pace becomes very even and very consistent and very deliberate, and you begin to fall into a meditation. Now, I know that I am coming up at like 27 minutes with a reading from the Book of Awakening. It's one of my favorite because the corner of the page was pressed down, and it's not from July 20th. No, yeah, that was yesterday. It's not from July 21st. It's July 22nd, and it's called Ubuntu, and it means I am me because of you, and you are me. You are you because of me. And it is a deep African It's it's an African proverb that has a deeper meaning and of being who you are. So that's coming up. I'm getting ready to go in my home. I hope you enjoyed this little walk. It was really nice when the birds were in the background and the light breeze in the background. So I'm going to leave you with a few minutes of music. I'm sure I picked another great one. I'm really enjoying Kevin MacLeod. I always get him confused with somebody else. I really enjoy his music. I've been using it a lot in my videos that have more of a meditative pace. And I think I used Ebb and Flow yesterday for which I didn't plan. The mermaid reading, the ocean reading, which was learning how to float. And I was painting a mermaid, and I didn't plan any of that. And I had the music ebb and flow. Everything that's about as curated as is gonna happen. If it happens serendipitously, then you're gonna get a curated video or talk over from me. But okay, before I come up with the reading, enjoy the music. Well, hello there, guys. I don't know what future me is talking about up until this point, but I decided to. Well, let me tell you what's going on in my neck of the woods. John has been sitting here practicing. He just got his guitar out of. He drove all the way up to Martin Guitars in Nazareth, PA, and he was sitting here and he was playing music, and I was doing this patchwork work here. Sorry, I was interrupted by the door, and I forgot what I was talking about other than John was playing music. And I thought, let me take a break, being that he took a break, and then I could do the reading, and then I have something to think about while I fill in the rest of the work that I'm doing. So I think I'm going to save this for my voiceover, so that I think that's what I'm going to tell future me to do, or past me, I don't know. But I'm skipping July 21st. I have the page of my book turned over because it's this reading here, Ubuntu. I am because you are because I am. It's a deep African way of being, and it's been one of my favorite readings throughout the years. I need to get my washi tape in here. My pages are falling out. I went through this with you guys yesterday during Self-Care Sunday of trying to find someone that will bind this book for me, a book binder that will take the book and bind it and put it in a binder also, so that I can keep it. I don't want to look at this book. I don't want to get a new one. I have too many notes and too many things that I just don't want to get a new one. This one is my blood, sweat, and tears, and so I want this one. So I'm going to get it bound. Ubuntu. This is actually for tomorrow. At the rate that this day is going, it might go up tomorrow. I am because you are because I am, a deep African way of being. In the winter, I met a man in South Africa. After several days together, I asked him about Ubuntu. He said it is a deep African custom. He did not explain, but rather repeated its meaning more slowly and with deeper reference. It means I am because you are. You are because I am. Ubuntu. It is something I have always believed in, that in the ignited space of our deepest suffering, in the release of our deepest fears, in the familiar peace of our deepest joys, we are each other. I felt it in the cancer rooms, in the eyes of burdened mothers sitting across from me, none of us wanting the dark things growing inside. Ubuntu. I have been finding it in every path, in every way. In Martin Buber's sense of I, thou, where only in keeping what is between us real can God appear. In the gift of Jesus, where two or more of you come together, there I am. In the one compassion of Buddha, in the numinous love that ancient stones emanate if we are still enough to bow to them. Ubuntu. I am because you are, even in how we live off the breath of plants. You are because I am. Even in how plants live off of our exhalations. I remember, years after Robert helped me survive cancer, after I helped him survive alcohol, I remember the two of us in a small park eating sandwiches with numb fingers, like little damaged birds. And Robert raised his head suddenly and said, I have had cancer. And I took his hand and offered in return, and I have been an alcoholic. Ubuntu. How we need each other to be complete. So while I am filling in what I have created here, and which I will explain to you in the beginning of this Motivational Monday, I love that Mark Nepo, if you don't have the book, he gives you these little exercises at the end of the chapter to practice. So this one says, sit quietly in a public place until your breath and the air you are breathing feel like one. Breathe steadily until your heart and the hearts of those around you feel like one. Keep breathing slowly until you feel with each breath the interconnectedness of all life. And while I was reading this, I am always reminded about the places that I gather in. And let me know if you've had this experience. No matter how many classes I have taught in yoga, when I would check my students in, and when they would come to me, and I would always say, how are you today? What's going on? Anything you want me to know before we start our practice? Because I'm teaching, and I would like to incorporate whatever my students, felt like they could share with me. Oh, don't tell anyone, but I'm pregnant, or I'm going through something right now. I don't know if my relationship is going to survive. And so if you see me crying or weeping, or like, I know, or if someone will come to me and be like, can you give me some extra help? People don't want to, announce throughout the entire room. If you've ever been to a yoga class and the teacher might say publicly, is there something you want me to know about what's going on? Any charms or challenges? Those are the words that I use. I snuck another tray in here while we took a little break, because there are some of this that came into play here. And I would, keep it under my hat, oh, I know so-and-so is pregnant. And so I would gently go over to her. People are on their mat and their eyes are on their mat. And that sometimes it is something that you have to repeat. If you're looking around at someone, if you're confused, you can wave me over and I will, help you. But don't be looking around at anyone else's mat, because you don't know. First of all, their body is different than yours, and whatever challenges they are having are different than yours. So, don't be looking at what anyone else is doing. Just, And so I would incorporate whatever they told me, without really anyone knowing what I was doing. And I cannot tell you how many countless times I have seen two women that have said to me, I'm pregnant, but I don't want anybody to know, set up their mat right next to one another. But it's always, or I'm having problems in my relationship, and I just, if you see me crying, this is why. And those two people will set up a mat right next to each other. And it just would always just I would just be in awe of that energy, finding that energy. I am because you are because I am. I just let the music play for the next minute while you were maybe either silently listening or just watching this video, wherever it is that you watch this video. Or maybe you're diamond painting along, just to let the words settle in. And this is what I love about Mark Nepo. Out of all the spiritual teachers that I have read or, read, I mean, there's Dr. Joe Dispenza, Becoming Supernatural. He comes from a science point of view. And then for a while there, I was really into Marianne Williamson, and her Return to Love is a classic. Everyday Grace, but I kind of fell out of, it shouldn't change the spiritual teachings that she did teach, but when she became political, I was like, please just stay in your lane. This is not your lane. We're not going to have what it is that you dream. Politics is a dirty business, and people like us, sometimes we get eaten up alive. And so I kind of fell out of, I don't want to say in line, but that's not the right word. I just kind of fell out of whatever it was. I didn't feel that she was returning to love in a lot of things that she was saying. I found it to be harsh, and I found it to be, well, if you don't think the way that I think, then you're wrong, because I'm here as a warrior of light and love, and you're not. It was kind of like that was the message, and I was like, oh boy, okay. Go back to the books, Marianne. You wrote them, please read them. And so, and then there was, I'm trying to think of who else. I mean, of course, Jesus is king, and that is the top of my list. But when you just want to hear the message in said differently, I love the way that Mark Nepo gives us the message in this reading, where he's giving you examples of Ubuntu. I am because you are because I am. All my bookmarks are falling out of this book. I love the examples that he gives, him being a cancer survivor and sitting across from a mother, and looking in her eyes and knowing, we're the same people. And we're here, and I see you. And when he gives the another example that came from Jesus, where two people or more of you come together, there I am. And in the compassion of the Buddha, and in the life of a plant, how we live off the breath of plants, and how they live off of our exhalations. And and then sitting with his friend Robert, who helped him survive cancer and who he helped survive alcoholism, and how they were just, sitting in this park, eating sandwiches, and, all of a sudden his friend decided to tell him, I've had cancer. And he said, I've been an alcoholic. Ubuntu. And how we need each other to be complete. The exercises that I had pointed out when I was reading, sitting quietly in a public place until your breath and the air you are breathing feel like one. And then, to just keep breathing until you could, until your heart and the hearts around you feel like one. It's a very deep feeling when you become aware of, like we see people and we know that they're alive in front of us, but we never really think about what, like, if you're just, sitting in this public park, as he says, and just looking at someone, can you tell the way that they are breathing? When you really look at someone, can you really decipher or sense in a way what is going on or maybe going on in their life? Not exactly, but you can tell when a person is filled with joy, and you can tell when a person is filled with despair, and you can somehow feel what their breathing is like and what their heart is like, just by looking in their eyes and just watching them, how they hold themselves. Are they standing upright and proud? Are they breathing with like a full open chest, shoulders back and relaxed? Or are they collapsing into themselves, shielding themselves from the world? Is their head down? Are their shoulders forward? Are their arms crossed? You can just study so much about people by the way that they move and the way that they hold themselves in the world. And if you could tap in to that and try, and it's a very deep, it's a very moving exercise. I wouldn't be surprised if an array of emotions come up when you really try and tap into the people around you, and what you're actually trying to sense what it feels like to be in their body. That's the way I see it. That's my interpretation of it, because I've done this exercise where I've sat, in a very beautiful park of Philadelphia, and all different times, early in the morning, lunchtime, break time, 3:00 in the afternoon, people hurrying back and forth to work, or maybe just relaxing, getting ready to go to dinner, and popping in the park, meeting at the park. It's a totally different energy all different times of the day, but the experience is very moving. I would bring a journal with me. I would jot down anything that I sense or feel, and it's just this is filling the toolbook, filling the toolbox, right? Because you don't know where these experiences are going to pop up again in your life, but you are filling the well. That's what Julia calls it, Julia Cameron, in the artist way. And this is why you take yourself out on an artist date, and you take yourself out alone, because you only want to be with your perspective, your senses, your sights, your sounds, your voice. You don't want to have to worry that someone is coming with me, and are they having a good time? What are they thinking about? Do they think this is stupid? Because then you're not concentrating on what it is that you are doing as an artist. You are taking yourself out. You are spending time with yourself. You do so much for other people. Now it's time to say, come on, self, we're going for a walk. We're going out. What do you want to tell me? What have I been not listening to that you've been trying to get my attention with? And I love taking a walk and going out with my phone and putting it on silent and seeing what I see and snapping a picture. Sometimes I don't even know why I'm taking a picture of whatever it is that I'm taking a picture of. Sometimes I take pictures of things that don't even interest me, but I can tell you I've drawn from that well. I've taken from that well, and I've been like, oh God, I know where this is coming from. I don't know, maybe, early on in my diamond painting journey, I maybe told you guys how my girlfriend raises monarch butterflies, and I didn't know all that was entailed, and she started telling me like how she feeds them and what happens and yada 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 yada. And at the time I was teaching Zentangle. I'm a certified teacher in Zentangle. I took the I got my education from Maria and Rick Roberts, Maria Thomas and Rick Roberts, the founders of Zentangle. I went out to Providence for a week and hung out with them and 600 other people and became certified in Zentangle. And I would sit there, and some of the tangles, they're the patterns that you draw in repetitively, I am interested in, but I was always interested in maybe creating my own. And I remember journaling in my book, and sometimes journaling is, sometimes you can't find the words, and so you begin to draw. And I began drawing these circles and long teardrops and kind of like very curvy lines and connecting them all. It didn't make sense until I put the book down, put the pencil down, walked away from it, came back, and I was like, oh my God. I know what I'm drawing here. I'm drawing a bunch of monarch wings, because in that well of, that information that I took from my girlfriend, it was in the recesses of my mind. And what I was journaling about was about transformation, starting anew, like a rebirth, like shedding, coming out of the cocoon. And just, I just thought I was doodling, but no, it's like something higher takes over, and your muse takes over, or whatever it is. It's just like diamond painting. It's like, it just takes over. Like when I'm doing that patchwork pattern, I know where I'm going, and so that I can relax into the process and not be thinking about anything other than just being with myself, and thoughts, if they come up, ideas that come up, different ways of, maybe different pens to use, different putties. What happens if I do this? How about if I try that? Those are the things that I'm usually thinking about. I am so eager to get to the part where I'm at right now, and that is the eye. I am so curious to see what this eye is going to look like. I'm trying to see. It's so difficult to see on my phone. Oh yes, that's all filled in. Now that's all patchwork there. I'm just realizing, I'm like, are there drills down? I can't really see them. Yes, there are drills down. I did take some time to fill more of this in than what you are going to see. And I think that all that may be left is that small section of the letter D, the symbol D, that is in between the two turquoise areas, because I don't know if you can tell with the light, but all the lighter drills are filled in, And then I am thinking that I am going to, I'm trying to see what is actually in that section. But I do like, I'm saying that we're going to have a tutorial just on black. Well, this is a good start right here because the patchwork is all black. They were all black drills. And so the comparison would be to take that smaller section below where my hand is, the next 10 by 10 block, and use a placer that just broke. So we'll use a 3 placer. We're gonna advance. We're gonna do 3. But maybe show you a couple of tricks like I was telling you about, splitting a long line. Maybe there's another longer line, or I really wanted to use black, but I'm finding that black is so hard to see. And, that's part of the problem when you're doing a big section that is color blocking. I thought color blocking, people do all these color blocking canvases and that's why they get done so fast. But, color blocking for me is a challenge. It really is. I'm having a little bit of a struggle right now. Oh, I think I was looking at this section there and I thought maybe, I was like, was there some kind of trash that got in there? I'm trying to also practice putting drills in where there are drills already. Now, sometimes I can, but this is the patchwork is done all the way around. So like all that you're left with is almost this diamond shape. Is it a diamond shape? Yeah, I guess it is. And it's a little bit more challenging. And I don't like pressing with the point of the tweezer because I feel like you're damaging the drill. So I will, drop it in and then turn my tweezer around, try and get it in. I'm not pressing on the top of the drill there. What's really nice about using a tweezer too is even though your tweezer is hugging the side of your drill, you can put that drill down where the tweezer is touching the drill that is already there, because it's just such a whisper of a space. But I think my tweezers may have been getting a little sticky. I don't know why. And they just weren't cooperating. And I'm gonna have to keep some alcohol next to me where I can give them a good wipe, where I find that maybe if I'm touching the bottom of the glue, maybe it is. Because if you are placing a drill down in between drills that are already down, yes, you are going to touch the bottom of the canvas. Or even like pulling drills up. You could see the glue on this is amazing. You could see where it just pulls back. I mean, it's a tiny little drill and I'm pulling with all my might and I can't get it off the canvas. And this is this that's L. Oh, so L is like that kind of like cocoa brown. And the D is 939, which is that dark navy. And I want to get into that section, which I believe is coming up. And then that will be where we say goodbye. We say goodbye. Tomorrow is my live. Tomorrow is Tuesday. That will be my live. Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. And we will have a lot more answers to the which event. Oh, if I didn't tell you guys, I am going to have the artist on with me July 29th, which is next week's live. So Kristen will be sitting in with me and we're going to talk about the importance of art and community. I thought I love doing a deep dive onto an artist when I am working on their canvas. And I thought, why don't I just ask Kristen if she'll come on? She's like, yeah, I'm going to be with Rich today and I'm going to be with Tammy in August. And I'm like, oh, okay, great. So will you come? And she's like, yes, of course. So she's coming in on July the 29th, next Tuesday. And if you missed it, Kristen sat down with Rich yesterday. I missed it. I told her I would be there. I missed it. My mother turned 85 and we took her out to dinner, and it was a comedy of errors. Where I wanted to take her was a private club that my husband belongs to. And I said, wait until you go, wait until you've never been there, wait until you see it. It's like a time capsule. It's a throwback to like Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra, and the TVs are on, and all the races are on, the games are on. It's just a fun, cool vibe, and this is like food that your mother would have made you. I'm talking peasant Italian, from scratch, delicious Italian food, and big portions. Like, you'll have food for the week, and we get there and the place is packed, but everybody's at the bar, who's shooting pool, all this is going on around you. And so they're like, oh no, the kitchen is closed in the summer on a Sunday because the owner and his family go down the shore. Of course they do. Everybody's at the shore. And John was like, next year we are definitely getting a house down the shore. I cannot take being in this city during the summer. I'm like, cool, whatever. I just go with the flow. If he says that's what we're doing, I'm like, cool. I love you, honey. Let's do it. What else did I want to tell you? Oh, and the Raven event. Oh my gosh. If you got a Raven and a witch, you can double dip into both. I'm doing a Raven event. I am doing something along these lines. If you like my Self-Care Sunday, if you like the readings from the Book of Awakening, if you like Motivational Monday, this is going to be like just a deeper dive into your canvas. Now, it doesn't have to be a Raven canvas. It doesn't have to be a Halloween canvas or an October canvas. It could be whatever canvas you want it to be, because it is about the teachings of the Raven. And those teachings will be used in conjunction with how we diamond paint, why we diamond paint, what kind of things we diamond paint, what we love about diamond painting. And I made it a member-only event. It was my first event, and let me tell you, when I tell you I fly by the seat of my pants and I go with the flow, being that I was asked to be a host on which is Ren from Diamond Art Emporium's first event, and I sat in with Ren and Tammy and Rich and the artist Kristen, and I thought, my husband said, how long are you going to be? I'm like, I shouldn't be any more than an hour. I think we're just getting together all to just say hi, It was 3.5 hours later, and I have to tell you, you guys, any event that you get involved in, make sure you thank your host and the person of the event, because you cannot believe, it is mind-blowing to me, all the work that goes into any event. It is so much work. And really, it's a labor of love. It's a labor of love. And so, for if you join the event because you love the community and the camaraderie and you love looking at the canvases, that's what I love. I love picking up tips and tricks from everybody else. I love seeing all the different canvases. I love hearing all the stories. I'm not there for the prizes and stuff. It's nice, but I'm not there for that. That's not the priority. Or maybe you are there for the prizes, and there's going to be a lot with Ren's event, because he's just a happy, joyous guy, and he loves spreading joy everywhere. The man he's a bouncing ball of glitter. He just loves sprinkling it all over the place and just giving you as much joy as he contains himself. And if that's why you're there, then that's why you're there. Maybe you're there for both reasons. Maybe you're there for other reasons. Whatever you are there for, be kind and just know so much work goes into it. So much work. And I know that no matter whose event it is, that if you have a question, they are doing their best to get you an answer. So, everyone wants to see the success of an event for the person throwing the event, for the people involved in the event, for the sponsors that are involved in the event that want to showcase what it is that they do for this community. Yeah, it's a big deal. I was like, thank God I made mine private. Thank God I made mine like members only. And you can join my membership, at $4.99 for the month, and be there for 5 weeks and have a really awesome master class on the raven. I didn't know that ravens were so intelligent and mischievous, and there's so many stories, and they're involved in so many cultures, and so we're going to have a blast. It's going to be a really fun October. Really fun. I've heard from so many of you that are like, I need this, and both events seem like so much fun, and you're so excited about it, and we can't wait, and that makes me so happy. What am I doing? Oh, I put my plastic back on top. That's what I do, because you can feel very easily the putting the cellophane back on top makes it very sensitive to the touch. And I'm running out of steam. Does she ever stop talking? And thank you for being here. Leave me any comments. Please like and subscribe. Think about joining the membership. I have a great membership community. They are just so fantastic. I love them so much. I've gotten to know mostly everyone. There's a few of you. Thank you for supporting me, but I want to get to know you. Hi, I know you're out there. Please drop me a comment, anything, a heart, anything you want. I'm so happy to have you here. I'm so glad you made it. Have a great week. Bless this week with your hard work. I will see you as always in the next one. Keep creating that world that you want to live in.